Money Monday, week number one. You're busy, but are you profitable? The 1 hour weekly habit that changed everything inside my business. Are you guys ready today to dive into the Level Up with Lacey podcast, all about our Money Monday series? We're going to give you guys, for the next couple weeks, all of, I'll say, my tips, tricks, and strategies that I've put into place inside of LG Education the last, I'll say, several years, and it all happens on a Monday. So we call it Money Monday. And for those of you that have been following my journey for a while or are big fans of the podcast, you've already heard about this, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into what we actually do, what the numbers mean, what I pull, and give you guys some things that have made a difference in my, not only my business, but my life. All right, so you guys ready to take this journey with me? All right, let's go. Being fully booked does not mean you're profitable. Having a full salon does not mean you're profitable. Some of the busiest salon owners I know are the most financially stressed. Welcome to our very first Money Monday, where we talk about the numbers and habits salon owners avoid but desperately need to understand and adopt. All right, so let's talk about revenue versus profit. Some of you guys, many of you, already know the difference between revenue and profit. For those who don't, we're going to break it down very simple and why I feel that revenue really doesn't mean anything, right? Like at the end of the day, to me, I don't care if you make $8,000 behind the chair or $25,000 behind the chair, or your company brings in $15,000 a month, or you're well over six figures a month. I can tell you right now, there are probably some salons right now doing $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 a month and way more profitable than some of our 100K month salons. All right. And you're probably thinking, well, how is that possible? There's a lot of factors that go into this. Okay. So revenue equals everything that comes in, every dollar, every penny. I call this top of the line. So you brought in X amount this month, not only inside your own personal business behind the chair, but your company. Okay. So you can take this into play if you are a stylist. What's your total revenue, total amount that you brought in? You can just pull up a report, or your company. Okay. Now, profit is what's left after expenses. All right. So you take your total revenue, you've got all your expenses, payroll if you have a team, subscriptions, rent, utilities, uh, you know, bank charges, accounting charges, like all the things. All right. And then what's left over, that's your profit. Okay. So you can do $70,000 a month in total revenue and still feel broke. How do I know? Because I've been there. I have been exactly at this total revenue point, and we were just scraping by. This was like 10 plus years ago. Okay. You're thinking, why? Maybe your payroll's high. Maybe you got a big team and it's a little out of control. Or your subscriptions are out of control. You've got a shit ton of subscriptions that you pay for every single month. Or you've got random credit card charges or things that you should have canceled 9 months ago and you just let it roll because you weren't in your numbers. Or retail ordering without tracking or setting a budget. This one's big because a lot of you guys are just ordering what you feel. You're ordering just to replace what's on the shelf or ordering because you need the color, the developer, we're going to stock up, whatever it is. And there's no system or budget around ordering. For my entire life, almost, I'll say 13 years inside of me owning a salon, I have only ordered retail and back bar on a budget for 13 years. All right. And some of you guys, your marketing spend is out of control with zero or very little ROI. Okay. So being fully booked and having a full team does not equal a financially healthy business. It doesn't. All right. So let's talk about why being fully booked means nothing. You can be fully booked. And I want to talk once again to the stylist that's fully booked right now and the salon owner. If you're a salon owner and you're fully booked, let's just say you have a full team. All your chairs are full. You have a beautiful team. Like you're at max, like productivity, capacity, all the things. Okay. But your pricing's wrong. Your pricing's not where it needs to be, or your growth model, compensation model, career path is broken. Okay. You could be fully booked with very low productivity. You could be fully booked, but payroll is eating you alive. You're not recouping that from your team members or your assistants, or you're fully booked, but you have zero retained dollars. So you're making good money, but you also spending good money. Okay. Busy is not a strategy. Profit margin is. All right. I want you to think profit margin, profit margin, profit margin, profit margin, like that's what I care about. And you should just say that over and over and over and over until like that's the one number in the percentage that you really give a flip about, because everything else is just kind of bullshit. I'm just going to say it. It matters, but not as much as your profit and your profit margin. And I will say, it took me many years to fully understand this concept, because I thought the more money that we brought in, the more money we made. And it was actually kind of the opposite. The more money we brought in, the more money we spent. So that leads me to my next one. The game changer for me inside my business was my Money Monday ritual. Okay. This part is gold. So listen up. If you've never heard of Money Monday, every single Monday for 1 hour, I have a standing appointment with my money, with my finances. And I call it Money Monday. It's time blocked in Google Calendar. It's a recurring appointment every single week, every Monday. If I happen to be out of town, traveling, whatever may happen, I pick it up Tuesday morning. Okay. I don't typically do it on Sunday because I'm spending time with my family. I'm not working Sundays. Like I won't do it the day before because I also can't. I have to wait for transactions to go through on Sunday to do what I need to do on Monday. So if I don't get to it for whatever reason, and this is pretty far and few between, okay? Because even if I'm traveling, I've got my laptop, I can do it in a hotel, whatever it needs to be done, and it's quick now. I'll do it first thing on Tuesday, okay? It's not the end of, it's not that big of a deal, okay? Pick a time, stick to it, honor it, live by it, okay? So what do we do on Monday Mondays, okay? Every single Monday, I say, we pay all the bills. So everything that needs to be paid, and a lot of things you are going to have on automatic withdrawal, direct deposit, rent might automatically come out, probably have a credit card or bank account linked up to like your utilities, things like that. You still need to manage it and know what's going on. But you might have some people that maybe an electrician does work and he sends you an invoice. And instead of paying it like immediately right then and there or waiting 3 months, I'll get to it Monday. I pay it first thing on Monday. So you can expect for me to pay those bills every single Monday. All right. I pay off all of our credit cards. If you don't live, I'll say on credit cards or have a credit card, that's great too. Okay. Don't worry about this. When you get into, I'll say, spending a lot of money inside your business, why not utilize their points and free money? That's how I've looked at this for years now. It's free money, it's free flights, it's free Southwest points, okay? American Express, all the things. As long as you are, I'll say, responsible enough. I'm not even going to get fully into this right now, but please don't have a credit card if you don't pay it off every week. Don't just use it as free money. I've got in trouble. I'm sure every one of you guys probably have been in that boat at some point inside your life where you've racked it up and you've had to dig yourself a hole to get out of it. And it's tough. Every single Monday, my credit cards get paid off. Just the balance. Bam, bam, wipe it off every single week. I have 3. 1 for Salon Lace, 2 for LG Education. That's it. That's all I need. Okay. I review every single transaction that went through my checking account and my credit cards for the last week. So 7 days. I'm not going through months of transactions. I'm going through 7 days of transactions. Sometimes there's quite a few and sometimes there's not that many. But I'm at least looking at them and seeing what was charged on my credit card in the last week. I look for any weird or unusual charges. Cancel any subscriptions if needed. Maybe there's something that I'm like, oh, that should have been canceled 2 weeks ago, or I need to get to that right now before it comes out in 5 days. Okay. I also make allocations in separate bank accounts. So I follow a system called Profit First. You might have heard of it, you might not. I have a spreadsheet. I take every deposit that went in my bank account for a 7-day period and I total it up. So whether it was $5,000 in the week or $25,000 in the week, total it up. Okay. Then what we do is put it in the cell that it belongs in inside the spreadsheet that I've adopted, and it'll spit off the percentages of where my money needs to go. So we take the money and we break it down into smaller plates and smaller bank accounts. So we have an operating expense account that the credit card comes out of that account right there. We put money into our profit account. That's the very first transaction and first allocation I do every week. We put money in tax account, and then we have an owner's pay. Okay. So I'm not going to teach this on the episode or on the series. If you want to learn more about it, I will link the book or the Audible in the show notes so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But we've fully adopted this. It has been one of the best things I've ever done. And I do all my allocations on Monday. And I'm basically taking the chunk of money that hit my bank account in the last 7 days and separating it into these bank accounts. And I have a really cool spreadsheet that does it all for me. Okay. Then I assess the cash flow. I log into my bank accounts and I see, where are we at? How much is in the account? Are there any accounts that are low? Like, what's the health of the account? How am I feeling when I look at this? Okay. Then I log into QuickBooks and I take a peek at our P&L. Or is my bookkeeper doing what he needs to be doing? Is he reconciling the bank accounts, or is he updating everything? Are the transactions going through there? There's no duplicates. Like, I double check his work because I have found mistakes inside QuickBooks. So I double check that, and that's it. You guys are like, whoa, that might seem like a lot, but it's actually not. Some of these things take 1 minute. Some might take 5 or 10 minutes. This usually does not take me the full hour. I will say it takes me anywhere from maybe 30 minutes to 40 minutes, okay? Unless I'm getting on the phone and calling my bank account or one of the credit card companies or changing something online or paying a bill online. Like, it doesn't take that long, okay? So these are the things that I do every single Monday. So what does this do? Let's talk about the why. You catch problems immediately. Like I said, if there's duplicates inside of QuickBooks, I'm going to catch it. If there was a subscription that for any reason we forgot to cancel, you catch it immediately. And they're way more likely to give you your money back if you catch it within like 24 hours than you are 6 months down the road and be like, by the way, can you give me 6 months of filling back in because I should have canceled this? No, they're going to say no. Okay. You catch your problems immediately. You prevent 6 months leaks and so much wasted money. How do I know? From experience. Because I used to fear logging into my bank account. I don't anymore. I think it's exciting now and I love it. But there was a time where I dreaded it and my anxiety would be actually through the roof. Hated it. Hated logging into QuickBooks. Hated logging into my bank account. Feared logging into my credit card. Like all the things. I hated it. Knowing your numbers, what this does is when you know your numbers and you have a really good pulse weekly on this, it gives you peace. Okay. You don't feel anxiety walking into the week, trying to run your business, pour into your stylist and your team members and your clients. It would make for a very, very stressful week. And then on Wednesdays or Thursdays, you're doing your ordering and your salon centric rep is there, your state rep, and you're trying to place an order and you're like, and you have no idea how much money or you haven't done a budget. You're being very reactive at this point. Okay. It gives me peace of mind before I ever walk into a busy week. Okay. So the 5th of the month, we do something very special. I'll say by the 5th of the month. Sometimes it's the 3rd, sometimes it's the 4th, sometimes it's the 5th. But by the 5th of the month, this is my monthly rhythm, I will go through and check my P&L. And I've talked to you guys about this before as well. I fill out my profit spreadsheet, and I cannot do this until my bookkeeper does his work. So we give him a 5-day, let's say, grace period to make sure all the transactions are in, they're cleared in the bank account. He can transfer everything from my bank accounts to QuickBooks. So you could say the 5th or the 7th, but I think it's very doable to have this done for sure by the 5th or the 7th of the following month. Okay. So let's say January went by February 5th, I'm logging into QuickBooks and pulling up my P&L from January. And what I do is I don't only look at this P&L, I actually fill out a profit spreadsheet. And I track 3 numbers inside of this spreadsheet, and that's it. Total revenue for the month, there's a column. Total expense for the month, there's a column. And total profit. And then there is a 4th column, and I calculate the profit margin percentage. So technically 4 numbers, $3 amounts, 1%. Okay, I like to know my profit margin because I have a goal of what I want to hit. Your goal is probably going to look different from my goal. I know how much in profit I want to make every single month. Okay, so revenue, expense, profit. I track that every single month. A simple Google sheet. It does not have to be anything fancy. All right. You cannot make data-based decisions if you are emotionally reacting to your bank account. This is awareness, you guys. And awareness is leadership. You can't scale what you refuse to measure. Okay? You have to be in your numbers to know your numbers. For some of you guys, this is hitting home right now because you don't know your numbers. And I hate that saying. It's like, know your numbers. What does that even mean? This is what it means. Knowing your numbers is doing Money Monday. Knowing your numbers is tracking your profit and your profit margin. Knowing your numbers is getting in your bank accounts and paying your credit cards and being in your data. Numbers are data. If you're only diving into your bank accounts and looking at your numbers once a month, if that, maybe once every 60 or 90 days, or when you feel like it, or when tax season rolls around, this is not leadership. It's avoidance. And it's going to lead to a very scary outcome inside of your business. And probably not probably, won't be scalable. And I fear there will be no longevity inside your business. This is a weekly appointment with myself that I honor no matter what. Okay. The difference between reactive salon owners and confident salon owners, one avoids their numbers and the other schedules them. Meaning you actually have an appointment with yourself, time blocked on the calendar every single week that you dive into your finances. And if you don't want to call it Money Monday, just put money or just put finances or QuickBooks or bank, like whatever you want to do. But I believe actually time blocking this and setting the appointment with yourself, you're way more likely to follow through. Okay. So that's an overview. All right. Does this help you guys a little bit? Maybe give you a little kick in the ass and get you guys excited about doing Money Monday and giving you guys some pointers on what we do on Money Monday and maybe diving into profit first if that's something that you're interested in. All right. So check the show notes so you guys can see the referral and what I'm talking about. So this was just week 1 of our Money Monday series. Over the next few weeks, we're diving into the numbers that actually move your salon and your bank accounts forward. Not only the numbers, but the habits and the strategies. Okay? If you're ready to stop living in fear when you check your bank account, then join me for the next couple weeks as we continue inside of our Money Monday series. Okay? So much love to you guys. Thank you, as always, for tuning in to the Level Up with Lacey podcast. I'll see you guys same time, same place right here next week.